Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and this is going to be our third podcast of India Talk series. I'm Sahil Verma, and today we have a special guest, Sujal. He's from Intuit and currently at ST2. He's also winner of SIH Hackathon, which is Smart India Hackathon, and also a finalist as UNESCO India South Africa hackathons. This episode, we will explore the journey of Sujal, like how he's landed at SD2 at Intuit and several experiences he gained through his journey and much more. I hope this series will be beneficial for you. So let's start. Hi Sujal, how are you?
Hi Sahil, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, and thanks
Yeah,
for inviting me to the podcast.
yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. So before starting, Sujal, I'll give a brief intro, but introduce yourself as like we are in a real interview, so that our viewers, so that they can prepare like how we should introduce ourselves in an interview. Or
Sure, Sahil. So you can just start with the basics. So Sujal Goel myself. I am an SC2 at Intuit. I work mostly with the backend tech, Java. I have interned at Tower Research Capital, which is an HFT. It is based in Gurgaon at this point in India. Apart from that, I have won Smart India Hackathon and I have been a finalist at UNESCO India Africa Hackathon. I have also authored three publications and currently I'm in Bangalore myself. So yeah, that's it about me.
okay, so you are from NSUT, right?
Correct.
So yeah, like NSUT is one of the among of the top colleges in engineering colleges India. So how is the life at NSUT? How you spend your 4 years?
Yeah, sure. So I think everyone usually dreams of this happening and interesting college life. We also almost had that, but apart from that 1.5 year when the COVID struck, apart from that, we met many people, networked with them, made very good friends, hanged out with them. Obviously, had to work hard as well to crack internships and the interviews for the job. But apart from that, we spend time exploring extracurricular as well. So it's not tech only in which I spent my time. I was also part of the theater society of my college, and I wrote and directed a couple of plays. So I believe it's important on one hand to enjoy your life and also focus on your career ahead, but then also find some extracurricular which helps to build your personality and also helps to build your communication skills.
Things about NSUT you like the most?
What I like the most, one I can say is the kind of students that join the college. Everyone is driven. Everybody wants to explore new things, new tech. People are opening societies, also the clubs left and right. I have seen a new college society based on AI research being open in just front of me itself. So it's nice to be part of a college, part of a peer group where everybody wants to do something more than what they're just offered. You're not just stuck with the college lectures and what you're just being offered on your plate. But on one hand, you also want to nail that and you want to understand what's out there in the world, because obviously life is not just going to the college, coming back, studying for exams, getting CGPA. So the possibilities are endless, and the kind of innovation that all the students were interested in the college was also very inspiring.
Like Sujal, if you are going back to your college, say in your first year, and so how you are going to spend your first, second, third year, it would be very advisable because at the end we did a lot of mistakes. Ideal college life a student should spend.
I believe that first year should be all about experimenting and understanding what you actually want to do, because sometimes people just start their journey without understanding if they really want to do it or not. And it's in the second or third year that they actually understand, wow, maybe it's not something that's for me and I want to explore something else. And there are many factors that can actually affect what you want to do. Maybe it's your branch that can also affect it. Maybe there are some other opportunities that would befit you more than what you're just trying to pursue. It can also be the compensation structure of the job that you're trying to pursue. Many students I have seen have gone into freelancing as well, and some have gone for research area and the MS. So many people pursue higher studies as well. So what matters the most is first you experiment, whether it's the cultural part of yourself you want to explore more, is the tech part, is the research part, freelancing, if it's a cushy dream job, or even you perhaps want to have a startup. This year itself, I saw at least two startups from my college getting funding in Shark Tank. So these things happen when you know what you want to do. So if you spend at least your first year understanding yourself, understanding your environment, opportunities, where you can stand and what you can do, then the next years you can spend developing those particular skill set. If you want to get into perhaps UPSC, so you can start preparing for the same from second year onwards. If you want to become an analyst, you can focus on that. If you want to become a quant engineer, you can focus on those things. So first year is for understanding, second and third year should be more focused on actually developing those skill sets, doing the required projects, applying for internships, getting actual working experience in the industry, so you get good exposure and your resume also has some really good projects. So yeah, first year always please experiment. Second, third year, develop your skill set, learn, explore in the industry, and then by fourth year I believe you would be at a very good place and you can relax a bit while side by side or doing maybe internships or freelancing, or you can just chill also because it's the final year.
There is a transition between school to college, and he or she have to understand what they are going to do in future. What are the different techniques, or you would suggest like how we can understand, because there are a lot of things we can do, a lot of things. For example, let I suppose I want to do UPSC. There is only one thing: if I'm investing time on UPSC, so it took them my whole first year. In the same way, if someone is joining societies, somewhere he might lacking some other opportunities or other learnings. So what should be the understanding parameters or exploring parameters according to you?
So again, as I said, that the first year should not be about going all in, because then later years you would regret, maybe I would have explored that, maybe I would have developed my skills into that, and that is something I could have done. I believe that sometimes it also happens that when students come from school after 12th, after studying so hard for JEE mains and advance and all that, they just start slacking off in college and they believe that college is all about fun, which is true also. You make new friends, you are at a mature age, you want to have that fun, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, one should not forget that time is limited, right? See, everyone has had quite a different journey, so there is no generalization per se, but
Yeah,
there are
absolutely.
some people who have maintained their life quite well. They have explored and had too much fun, and they're at a very good position right now. And then there's some people who haven't explored enough, who have had decent amount of fun, and it is now that they are struggling and they are hustling. So it's you who decide at what point in your life you want to hustle. So if you start exploring multiple things, explore everything: content writing, marketing, communication, everything. I think one should try in their first year. So join as many societies as you can so that you can understand. I was part of ECEL as well when I was in my first year of college. So join as many societies. That would help you understand what you really want to do when you get into the later years of your college life. But once you move from school to college, I believe do not slack off. Try to understand that these 4 years are crucial. Again, not saying to not have fun, but understand that while having fun, also you can explore things and do things that will actually help you to build your skills and resume. So focus on that as well.
Yeah, I am adding one more point for understanding like what you have to do and what you want to explore. So there is a one benefit of joining societies is you know a lot of peoples if you join societies. So if you know a lot of more peoples, there are a lot of more discussion and you will learn about more fields. Let's suppose I join a society and there are 10 peoples and 10 have individual interest. So I will get more, diverse knowledge of background. So yeah, it's help in this way as well according to me. Prashant, now we will proceed. So, how is your coding journey? How you prepared the whole stuff?
See, I believe at this point, no, out there are just so many resources. So sometimes people also may get confused. But I believe that one of the good things you can do is always get in touch with a senior to get one-on-one advice. But coming to me, I started with basic DSA in my first year and continued doing the same on lead code, building my skill set and understanding how to approach a problem. When you start learning, you almost always know which data structure to apply, because that is how you're learning. But later on in an actual interview, nobody's going to tell you what data structure or algorithm to apply. That is something you yourself would have to figure out based on the problem, and that understanding and maturity you build only when you have solved enough problems. Again, when I say solve enough problems, it's not about just trying and getting to any random solution which just works. It's about quality solutions. In every interview, they're going to judge you based on the quality that you have provided for the particular solution. How are you naming your variables? How are you creating a for loops or while loops? Code quality also matters a lot. So I'll say that maybe in first second year, when you have clarity that you want to go to this journey, going to some perhaps an MNC or some startup or any company which does ask for DSA rounds. So start at least. I started with a basic course So if you want, then I'll recommend usually that paying for a course is better. So if possible, try to buy a course, pay for it, get the required support as well that you'll get because of paying for it. Complete the course with motivation and with due diligence. Once you have completed the course, get onto the lead code, start solving daily problems, and over time you're gonna build that understanding on how to solve a problem.
Before Intuit, how many interviews you have given for the companies? Like how many companies are you interviewed at?
Okay, honestly speaking, I have not interviewed at many companies, and that is something I feel is not that good either, because over time, one skill that you need is that you have interviewed enough companies so that you do not carry fear, sort of, that what happens when I end up giving that the interview for the next company. So I have not given interviews for many company. During my internship, I gave 2 to 3 interviews, and for my during my placement also, I think I just gave 2 interviews. Intuit being my second interview. Also, one can say that I have been lucky enough that I didn't have to give many interviews while searching for my internship or for my placement during the placement season. So yeah, haven't given many, but one I can surely say that every interview that I have given, I have learned a lot from that.
So sometimes it's happened a candidate problem very well and its solution is right, but still they rejected. What are those points? Like if you're solving a right problem with right approach and still you are rejected, then what be the where he is lacking or she is lacking?
See, so at the end of the day, interview as a process is also a lot about luck. And since it's a competitive process, so one can't say that the reason you were rejected is only because you were not good enough. At the end of the day, company has only a limited positions open and they have to select a few candidates. So it can be that perhaps your fellow engineers were asked relatively easier questions, or perhaps they came up with a better approach. Their code quality was perhaps better, and when they were presenting they were much more confident and they had better communication skills. So one thing I think people also ignore are the soft skills. At the end of the day, interview is a talk, is a conversation that you're going to have with the interviewer. So if you do not know how to carry yourself, how to present yourself, and how to present your solution, that also somewhere counts as negative marks. See, at the end of the day, obviously hard skills matter a lot, your knowledge
Yeah.
and tech and coding matters a ton, but there always comes that factor of bias. Anyone can say that I do not care how they present themselves, I only care for the solution, but those things just stay at the back of your mind. So it's first of all, it's very heavy about luck. So never let those things get to your mind and think, what did I do wrong, what did I do wrong? Spend some time, try to analyze what I could have done better. Maybe it was the communication skills, maybe I could have given a better approach, maybe my coding skills could have been better, maybe the way I was coding and was presenting myself. But after a while, after just thinking for a little bit of time, just to not get too much into it, again, it's a lot about luck, and they had to select someone. Maybe it was just not your day. Continue applying for the other companies. One thing I think people do not understand is there are so many companies out in the world.
Yeah.
India and America and Britain are not the only countries. There are so many countries which are quite happy to have you as part of their workforce. So continue applying. There are many countries. Every country has many companies, and many of those companies have the job openings. It's just about if you are getting to know about those job openings or not, and if you're applying to them or not. So just continue building your skill set and your resume accordingly.
Let's deep dive into your journey more. And you are winner at SIH. So could you tell me like what is your ideal approach from 0 to 1? How you are landed with an idea and then teamwork and then you are really a winner at SIH.
See, SIH is not just about tech, it's about marketing and it's about communication and presentation. Hackathons in general are about presentation more than just tech. I have seen projects which have not been very technically sound, but they have targeted at a problem which has been prominent, or at least the judges thought it to be prominent. And then the presenters have been good enough to be able to sell that problem to the judges. So when you're creating a team of that 6 members for the SAH, one important thing is, while you obviously want technically sound members in your team who understand tech, who can build features, who can create a product around the problem statement, you need a couple of people who are also good at research, who can show those numbers, who can present your product to the judges. So at the end of the day, when the questions are asked, why did you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why do you think people will like this? People will not like that. And when they're presenting the project, they have the required communication skill set. Again, while building a team, always make sure having a mixture of both technically sound people and people who have amazing communication and research skills, because a good PPT is what gets to the judges before the demo. So it's the
Yeah.
PPT that they see first and then the demo. So if the PPT is not good enough, then perhaps their interest would already die and your good demo is uh, equal to nothing. Secondly, choosing a problem statement. Once you have a good enough team, you know what you want to do with your team. Second thing is choosing a problem statement. Not every problem statement is good, and what accounts for a problem statement also varies according to the team. Perhaps your team has ML engineers, so perhaps it's favorable for you to go for a problem statement which has ML component required into that. These days, SH also has problem statements, at least as I remember, blockchain related problem statements. You can pick for those as well, cloud computing, and then there are many pieces of tech around which there are SH problem statements. But don't try to go for fancy just because it sounds so. At the end of the day, you also have to solve it. So have some plan in your mind while you're choosing a problem statement, and choose a problem statement which, two more important things are, that problem statement should not have too many people interested into that, and at the same time not too less people interested into that. If there are too less people, then that problem statement might get scraped off. It might not even make it to the actual sh final. Not every problem that you see on the portal gets implemented at the end of the day. Many of the ministries just scrape off the problems, and if you go for a problem which has many people interested into it, then it becomes a very competitive space for you to get to the finals. So these are the few things I believe you must keep in your mind while selecting a problem statement and the team. Once you have a good team, once you have a problem statement, then everybody is smart enough to handle it on their own moving ahead. But if people make mistakes while making these two decisions, then it's a very shaky boat ride, and that's, I believe, is the reason many of the people do not make it forward.
So, according to you, what should be an ideal good team? Let's talk about general hackathons. It should cover SIH and other hackathons.
So even if I assume that there's to be a four-member team, in a four-member team, and since because hackathons usually run for just a couple of days and you want to present a strong project, having one member who is good in research but at the same time can contribute to the tech also is something I would say is highly recommended. Unlike SH, which has the bandwidth up to the up to six
Yeah.
members, because when it comes to smaller teams, you want everybody hands-on so that you can build a better project. And the other three members, see, then it's not like the one person is the only one who is doing the research. Everyone has to contribute a bit into the research, a bit into how the project will look in terms of UI and UX, and the other members, and then everybody just being hands-on into coding and creating the product also. Again, hackathons I feel is something you can understand more about more you try, and I feel the reason many people don't get into it is because they're like, we don't know how to do it, we don't have a team. This is, you have, for now, ideal solution is never to have friends in your team, because at the end of the day you're not going on a picnic, you're not going for clubbing, you're going to create a project which will be perhaps on your resume. So what you need is a diverse skill set, not your friend group. But if you want, you can start with your friend group. At least that would help you to explore in a comfortable manner. Once you have explored enough, then you can create and ask people in your college, other people who have other skill set, because now you also have those projects to show to them. See, I have worked on these, that's why I'm valuable to your team. You have these skills sets, that's why you would be valuable to my team. That is why we must create a team for this particular hackathon.
Let's talk about furthermore UNESCO hackathon. I'm listening this name first time, so many viewers also listening this. I think it is an international hackathon because it includes India, Africa. So could you tell me the whole about this hackathon?
So actually, when you win SIH Smart India Hackathon, you get opportunities and doors open for you for other international hackathons as well. But one of the international hackathons that did take place was UNESCO India Africa Hackathon. So these hackathons usually are international, and also they have team formed with members across countries. So the reason for that is, again, is to have better relationships with the fellow countries. So the teams that we had formed had 2 to 3 members from India, and then 2 to 3 members from one of the African countries. So we collaborated, came up with ideas, brainstormed. We also were provided with mentors from the hackathon committee itself. So first of all, we get the form. The winners get the form. The winners fill in the form based on what problem statement they are interested in, whether they want to participate or not. So once you fill in your priority for the problem statements, then you get matched up with other winners of SAH and the members of the another members who are coming from the Africa.
If someone is not winning a SIH, so he can't participate in international hackathons.
At least that was the case when we won, and when we were participating. The form was exclusive for those who were the winners of SAH.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
the winning SAH brings you some other exclusive benefits. Maybe in the coming years they will bring back 2 to 3 international hackathons.
Do you remember about the SIH product?
SH project also I do not have very distinct memories, but it was something related to Aadhaar card and related to access, something related to that.
You are at currently at SD2 at Intuit, and initially before Intuit, you have interned at Tower Search Capital, right? So could you share the journey of Tower Search Capital internship, how you interviewed at this company, and how is the work culture, what projects, what type of projects, what type of learnings you get from this internship?
So I applied for the internship from my college placement cell itself, and the
Okay,
company came to our college for hiring the interns.
it's on
So we
campus internship.
campus internship. Intuit one was also an on-campus placement.
Okay.
So for the on-campus internship, first we gave a test, and based on that test, we got a call for the interview. There were two rounds of interviews. First round had mostly DSA, two questions of DSA, and a little bit of operating systems and I don't think there were networking questions, but operating systems was there. Second round, I think that there was just a single question of DSA, and apart from the DSA question, there was a system design question that was asked to me regarding how to create a Google Maps. So we discussed a
Okay.
bit about algorithm on that and how to make optimizations onto that. So it was a talk. Again, as I said, that interviews are mostly a conversation rather than just a question answer session. It's not a viva. So we discussed how we can create a good Google Maps problem. So we discussed that, and based on that, I got this mail regarding the selection. The on-campus internships, the interviews take 1 year prior to when you actually be joining. So at the end of my second year, we gave those internships, like at the beginning of third year, and
Mhm.
in the break between third and fourth year, I actually went for my internship. So the internship was actually in Gurgaon itself. It's an international company though, but in their Indian office is based in Gurgaon. And the work culture was amazing. There was too much to learn. HFTs usually work using C++ because it's relatively a low latency language, unlike Java. Though Java is a very industry favorite language, but over there I was working in C++, a little bit in Python as well as per the requirements. Work culture is amazing, and also the company is very nice in terms of providing breakfast, lunch, dinner, evening snacks also used to be there. So there were plenty of things to explore for you. These days in every company, that perhaps there is also foosball and table tennis,
Yeah.
and you can always network with fellow engineers. And when you get to a company where everyone who has come in after a rigorous round of interview and selection process, you know that the people that you're conversing with are really intelligent and they know what they're talking about. So there were many of the people over there were IITians, so you have conversations with them. As an intern, you feel kind of very left behind, that you know nothing apparently, and that's fine. But I used to study during my weekends also, to be able to understand different tech components and how particular technologies work. And that struggle sort of continues afterwards also, because again, when you're entering into the job as an SE1, and then there are people at such high levels who have years of experience and knowledge, you're obviously lagging behind doing different courses on high level design, system design, and low level design in your own spare time on weekends after working hours. So one has to continuously upskill themselves, and these days upskilling is even more important because of the continuous competition in the industry. So yeah.
Tower Search Capital is a HFT, and HFT pays very high package as compared to normal product based company for the same role. So like why they are paying very high, some of like getting 60 LPA, TLPA, what are the culture? Because I also listen like in HFT you have to do a lot of work, so is it real or not?
So HFTs are trading firms basically, and trading firms. See, it's not about that the other companies are not earning well, but HFTs want people who are intelligent and who can develop and learn many things. Usually, their work hours are not that flexible, and they want a lot of your time. I won't
Yeah.
say that they do not promote work-life balance. It would be a very wrong general statement, varying from one HFT to another HFT. So yeah, we cannot generalize, but the reason that they're paying so much is also because they're hiring super selective talent, and their rounds are not easy to crack. So if you're cracking them, that means you're on the top of the ladder already. I mean, that means you have already worked hard enough, and you're being able to present that how good you are at your skill and craft. That is why it kind of also makes sense for you to be able to work there and get that much a salary. But again, the work expectations are obviously high because nobody's going to pay you good salary with the, when you're not providing them with any extra worth. So you would have to put in those hours, you would have to put in that hard work to be able to justify the salary that they're paying you. And again, as I said, the trading firms are good at making money also, so that kind of balances it out. But again, if you want to apply to some good HFT, then you would have to have your basics at least very, very strong. And though it was not expected from my side that a system design based question would be asked during an internship, and I was not per se very prepared, but I feel my prompt thinking during the time of the interview itself helped a lot. So never prepare yourself for an interview in terms of cramming up stuff, because question might not be what you already prepared for. You just have to be prepared in terms of tech in general, and you have to explain your resume also in a way that drives questions. So I remember one thing I used to do during my interviews, both for internship and for placement, is when I'm telling about myself and I'm telling a bit about my resume, I would focus a bit on those projects which are sort of unique, which are not like the very generic projects which everybody might have on their resume. Once I talk about them, I start holding the command on the conversation, because now I'm driving the conversation towards those particular topics which I'm actually very good at. If you do not give your interview anything to talk about, then they will ask you questions which you might not know about. But if you
Yeah.
drive your interview about those particular projects which have some different technology involved, which has some different logic, different customer, different consumers involved, that will first of all pique their interest. So they will be naturally more interested in talking about that project. Second, because it's your project in the end of the day, so you know more about it. You would rather talk about your project compared to some perhaps maybe other companies LLD or HLD. So yeah, always when you're giving your interview introduction, try to talk about those projects which are different than the other people's projects, and at the same time which catch the interest of the interviewer.
There is a term quant engineering. Quant is used in HFT. What is quant?
So quant again is something I have not delved deep into, but just to give you an upper level explanation around it, it's mostly related to maths and algorithms. So when you're actually working on trading, so because trading is mostly about numbers and understanding the market, so it usually falls into how your grasp is on maths and algorithms. So developing those algorithms which can maximize your profits is something that engineers do. But again, since I have myself have not delved quite deep into this field, so I won't be able to comment much onto it. But I feel again there are many good websites that can help you prepare for the quant engineering roles as well. And quant engineering roles also pay pretty good, coming from the top HFTs. So yeah.
Okay, Sujal, I want to ask one more thing. Like, usually company ask about DSAs, DBMS, concept. So, is this concept DSA used in company because we have certain projects in the company? So, how DSA and other stuff, operating system, DBMS is contributing in that project?
See, operating system, OOPS, and DBMS will be used by you in the company, because these are the things that actually contribute to your dev experience, and these are some things you're actually going to work along with when you're working on a project that is given to you. But when it comes to DSA, right? DSA is not about what you're going to work on. I What I say is that it's same as giving JE using PCM. PCM is not something you're going to use when you're becoming a computer engineer. But the
Yeah.
reason that they to judge you on PCM is because they that tells the colleges that you are smart enough to be able to crack and think and analyze these problems. That's the same reason that the companies ask DSA questions. They want to understand if you can think about this particular problem. So if you can think about these tough DSA problems, that allows a company to understand that when you are thrown or when you are provided with a very tough problem in terms of system design in actual corporate, not just interview, then you'll be able to handle it, you'll be able to understand. And again, DSA is not just about thinking of an algorithm but also coding it. So if you're doing bad coding in a DSA interview, that kind of gives an impression that if you'll be selected, you'll be doing bad coding in their repositories also. Nobody wants that the code that is pushed to production in their companies is of poor quality. Everybody wants high quality, maintainable, and scalable code at the end of the day. So DSA helps companies understand the candidate. But again, DSA is not something you're going to use, but it is a metric for the companies to analyze and judge you.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Intuit. You are at SD2 at Intuit. So apart from compensation, what are the other benefits Intuit provide?
Yeah. So what are the other benefits? Again, Intuit is a very good company when it comes to benefits. It gives you a lot many goodies, and it takes care of you in terms of health insurance, life insurance. It gives you annual checkups for you and your family as well. There is this Virgin Pulse app that allows you to take many steps per day, and based on the steps you are taking, if you hit particular milestones, they give you Amazon gift cards.
Okay.
So per quarter, you can earn up to 6K rupees based on just walking and staying healthy. There are many such advantages as such.
Party and trips in the Intuit.
Yeah, that is, I believe, the reason I'm not mentioning some of these things because they're kind of provided by every other company. So yeah, you have quarterly lunches or dinners, and then you have annual trip. You go to some resort, you relax, you unwind yourself, you talk, you enjoy with your fellow team members. So those things are also there. Yeah.
And how is the workload like? Would you busy on weekends or you are completely free from the company work?
It varies a lot on two things. One is obviously team to team. Some teams might be having very heavy workload because their deadlines and requirements are on priority at this point, and some teams might not be facing that because their work is sort of different. And the second thing being that, see, high workload is something you cannot work under 24/7. So for me also, I believe sometimes it is hectic and sometimes I have to work on weekends, but on other times when it's not required, I usually prefer now at least not to, because earlier I used to, because I was unaware of many things. Like I didn't know how to do certain things. I had to learn, I had to experiment. But now I'm at a sort of a stable stage where I can pick up things quickly during the weekdays itself. So I try to avoid working on weekends. But again, if it's a priority project and deadlines are a little difficult to reach if I'm to not work on weekends, then I do not mind spending some time on weekends. But again, I at this point, because I have hustled enough during my first year itself, during my second year, I try not to spend my weekends. Yeah.
Okay, so on which tech stack you are currently working at Intuit, like Java or anything else?
Mostly is Java and Spring Boot only. There are some services for which I had to work with Python also, and one important skill these days in industry is also the AWS knowledge, Amazon Web Services. So because many companies are migrating to AWS cloud, so being able to understand databases, S3 buckets, connections, all those things in terms of how does AWS work and it can be utilized in your projects, that's also quite important in the industry.
Okay, so we have explored your hackathon journey, your college journey, and corporate journey. So let's talk about the AI. We are all familiar. So, what is your point on AI?
So when it comes to AI, the market is so unstable, and even the people on higher positions cannot comment anything when it comes to AI with certainty. It is obviously developing, but it is also hallucinating, which means it's results that it's providing both in terms of coding or in general questions are not 100% accurate all the time. So you also have to have knowledge regarding the things. You also have to double check things, even though the code is being produced by the AI. Apart from that, obviously it is helping to come up with faster and better dev velocity, which means the tasks which used to take perhaps a month can now be done within a week. And that also is sort of, one can say, a little concerning for the new engineers, because when there used to be required 3 4 engineers on the same project, now perhaps less number of engineers are required to complete the same project because of the AI.
Everyone is saying AI is replacing the engineers. Or for college student, we know like AI is doing our task, he's doing the coding questions and helping in projects. But how it is helping at industry level, like a big MNC, big companies, how they are using the AI and how they are getting benefits from that specific AI.
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, mostly AI is about increasing your dev velocity. It's about catching issues, bugs, PR reviews. All those things are getting better, improved, and faster with the help of the AI. And again, as I said, same thing that used to take a month now perhaps will only take a week with lesser number of developers to create
Like
the same.
how could you tell me example like sample test case?
One thing I would like to mention, just coming back to your question, is that, see, when I say that AI is very important and leadership is looking for it, it goes both ways. They want to see, are you utilizing AI or not? So if there are two engineers, both of them are good in DSA, OOP, system
Yeah.
design, code, everything, but one of them has an AI first mindset. One always thinks out, how can I use AI to improve my work? Second engineer, on the other hand, is just like, I don't care if AI is there or not, I am good enough. So the first engineer would automatically get preference. I'll give you a very good example. I recently come across this product which helps you build your portfolio website with using AI in just a 2 to 3 clicks. Now, you same engineer can spend a month maybe to create their own portfolio website. Another engineer will just spend 10 minutes to create their portfolio website. Now, as a hirer, as a interviewer, you want to get someone into your company who can get the work done faster and with quality. So the question is just to you yourself, like, which one would you like to hire? Someone who is being able to create that portfolio website with in just 5 to 10 minutes using this recent startup I came across, or would you like to do the same thing using 10 days?
There is one trade-off. Like if someone is using AI and someone is developing its portfolio from the like skill set he or she have. So when they are developing their portfolio, so they are catching a lot of bugs, lot of issues, and they are learning a lot of things. But at the same time, if he is using the AI and building his portfolio, so he's unaware about the several problems, test case, so he's lacking from the experience as an interviewer. So he could also think like he have a experience in developing the things, he know the test cases, he know the where we face the issues. So do you think is a trade-off about the
I'll
skill set time?
of it. It is very much about the engineer. See, we also get suggestions when we are coding from AI itself based on you could do this, you could do that. Now we have two choices. Either we just blindly do everything that AI is saying without putting any mind or studying about it, or we got suggestions from AI. Now we study out why those suggestions are good or why those suggestions are bad. Again, AI is there to help but not to replace us entirely, right? If I'm studying about why the AI is telling me the suggestions and I am improving my knowledge, then I am becoming a better engineer. If I'm just blindly following whatever AI is saying without understanding anything at all, then I fall into the same category which you just mentioned. I'm not able to understand, I'm not able to debug code, I'm not able to understand issues in the code. I'm just
Yeah.
blindly doing whatever AI is saying. So AI is here to help, but at the end of the day, you would have to study. There is no replacement for it. Again, as I said about the resume, about the portfolio website thing, if you can do the same amount of work within less time, it's about the work output, it's not about your learnings is something you'll have to continue doing, because if you do not answer you cannot say in an interview, I do not know the answer to this, AI will let me know
Yeah.
about it. If you're being asked a question, you can politely say, I do not know about it as of now, but I can study about it later. You cannot say that I do not need to know it because AI will help me with it.
We have explored a lot of AI. The main question is how international companies, big companies using AI.
See, AI is at this point used on two fronts. One is for the customers, which is the external front, that how they're helping their customers to be able to interact with the product better, understand the product better. Intuit has many products, one of them being QuickBooks. So it's an accounting software which helps businesses manage their accounts, manage their expenses and invoices using the product.
Okay.
Now, AI can help you navigate through the product, help you to understand what accounting is, how to reduce your expenses. All those insights can be given to the customers using the AI. This is the external front, that how we are communicating with the external customers using AI, how we are helping them and simplifying their lives. Second thing is obviously, as I said, the internal usage of AI. Now we also as developers are using AI for, as I said, peer reviews, for peer programming, for suggestions while we are coding, for writing code faster, even code generation and unit test creation. All of these things are also taking place very faster, quite faster using AI. So currently, AI in all the MNCs are being used on two fronts. One is the external, how we are helping the customers using AI, how AI is being used by our customers to perhaps simply use our product to get insights about their data. And second is is internally, how the developers are actually able to ship those features to production faster using AI. So
From the starting of the first year till now, there are many things. So what are those wrong things, and you learned a lot, or tell us about them, so one can improve and can save their time, or yeah.
one thing I can say is that perhaps not wrong, but I think one thing I could have started a little earlier is building a strong network and
Okay.
building a strong peer group and improving your communication skills. Because again, you see, it's not about being an introvert or an extrovert when it comes to building a network. Sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you would have to talk to people. You cannot tell yourself, okay, I'm an introvert, it's fine if I do not talk to people, it's fine if I do not network to people because that's my personality. But if it's your personality, then you would also have to be happy and okay with all the disadvantages you're getting along with it. If you network with people, if you let them know your worth, if you appreciate them, if you help them when they need it, then only somebody will be there for you in your time of need. So I feel networking and communication is something I could have started earlier, so to have a better network and a better peer group.
This is done from my side, Sujal. Anything you want to extract on?
Again, I would say that live your life to the fullest. 4 years of college, or perhaps unless you're going to the college again for MBA or higher studies, you will not get this college life again. So enjoy it as much as you can. Time and pocket allows. Attend events, go to the cafes with your friends, do whatever you wish to do that you want to do. But at the same time, do not forget the fact that after these 4 years, you're going to get to the corporate life. If you end up hustling now, which is a better position because the expectations of people, of companies to hire you as interns or as full times is lower. So it's better to prepare for interviews and things now, because when you get into the industry 1 or 2 years after, the expectation and the rounds are much tougher. So it's better to start with a good company, good job, so that you can have a better career ahead. Okay, it's fine if you're not even having a good company right now. There is always a way to upskill yourself and get to a better company. Never quit. Always be confident. Always be confident in your communication skills as well, and try to understand that perhaps many people undermine the fact that we have so many resources just on the click of our like fingers. Like we can use mobile, internet, laptop, all these equipments that we have handy for ourselves. We can do infinite number of things with these. The possibilities are endless. It's just us who are being restrictive and not being creative enough. So go out there, explore, communicate, network, and hustle, because only when you hustle now, the time that you're spending with your friends would feel better. It will be sweeter. The rewards would be sweeter for you, and you would enjoy them more.
So we have explored a lot of things with Sujal, and it was a really, really great interaction with you. We have tried to do a discussion in every field. If there is a doubt, you can still connect with Sujal. We are ending this episode of Engineer Talks, and we will bring some more guests. Hope you would like it. And if there is any feedback, you can drop in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching it.